As I'm sure you've noticed, prices are rising faster in America than at any time since the financial crisis in 2008. A recent Harris poll survey for USA Today found that 83% of Americans are concerned about it, and that's, of course, bound to have an effect on how people shop. We are joined now by USA Today's economic opportunity reporter. I love that title, Charisse Jones. Charisse, good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Well, quickly, what is an economic opportunity reporter, and then what is going on with these prices?
Yeah, well, I write about racial equity and what you need to do economically to get people to be able to bridge the wealth gap that exists between different racial groups. So it's a really important thing to talk about right now. And the prices are really impacting people because a lot of folks don't have enough money, and everything is up across the board, from clothing to groceries to cars.
And why? What's going on?
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, the pandemic really upended everything, right? So supply lines got really clogged. You couldn't get people to ports and to factories to kind of produce these things. So it's costing a lot more to ferry the merchandise, the materials, and the items. So companies and brands are charging more, or getting charged more, and they're passing that on to consumers who are seeing that at the grocery store and the shopping mall.
So what do you do? I mean, first of all, how long do you think this supply jam is going to last? Because I was looking for a sofa earlier this week, and they said December, you know.
Of this year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be a Christmas present.
Furniture makers are paying like 30% more for lumber, which is what you need for sofas and chairs. And so a lot of economists are saying they think that it's going to kind of slip in the next few months, you know, as the pandemic eases and people start, you know, the demand goes down a little bit and the flow starts again. But you never know. You never know what forces are going to act up.
And do you think that's where the biggest change in prices might come, where we may get a little bit of relief?
Yeah, because a lot of it is this log jam, right? And there's also a lot of pent-up demand. I mean, people couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't buy a lot of things. They weren't flying. And so when you get that out of your system, then the prices start to slip a little bit. But we don't know when that's going to happen exactly. We hope in the next few months.
Do you think that there are certain things you should buy in bulk? I always think toilet paper is one, because we're all going to need it. I don't care what color you are, how much money you have. Everybody's going to need toilet paper.
Yeah.
So do you think items like that, it's okay to buy in bulk, but they were even rationing that for a time?
Yeah, I think that buying in bulk is a good idea if you have some place to put it and if you're going to use it, right?
Yeah.
So if you buy a lot of fruit, if you have a big family, 3 kids or 4 kids, and you're going to go through it, that's a good idea. You know, we learned during the pandemic, we really needed toilet paper and hand sanitizer, but you've got to have a place to store it. I mean, you don't want to have the big jar of tomato sauce. You take the lid off and there's mold on the top because you haven't used it. So, you know, make sure you're going to use it and you have some place to put all that stuff.
I feel that about avocados. I buy avocados, and most of the time they just sit there and go bad.
After
somebody needs to think of something.
You got to
There is
send those
something.
to me, Gayle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll eat them.
Okay. Shrinkflation.
Yes.
Were you going to ask
That was
about
my,
too?
absolutely.
Shrinkflation. What
So
is that?
shrinkflation is when you go to the store and you buy something you're used to, those Raisinets or the potato chips, and there's less in the bag or in the box or the package, but the price is the same, or it's more. And the reason that companies get away with this is that we're very sensitive to price. You notice when the orange juice costs $1 more, but you don't notice when the carton's a little bit lighter. So it's a way for them to make a little bit more money, you know, boost their profits, and you don't know that you're getting ripped off a little bit.
And nothing we can do just except being ripped off?
Well, you know, you can, like, you know, make notes. I mean, look at the weight of the product, look at the price, and then compare it. And if you go back next time and it is a little bit lighter or a little bit more expensive, you can go to a rival brand and see what they're offering. Store brands tend to be cheaper, and they tend to be the last brands that play that game with the volume. So that's often a good bet, too.
And that's happening now? The volume of products is going down in the packaging?
Yeah, it tends to go with inflation. So when prices go up, companies are looking at lots of tricks to get more money and to boost their profits. And so a lot of things, cereal and snack goods and paper products, people are noticing that they're not getting as much bang for their buck.
Yeah, so when you pick up the peanut butter jar and it feels a little smaller, it's not all in your imagination?
No, it's not. Or the paper
Definitely
towels.
true with Raisinets. Definitely true with Raisinets. That box is like that, and you open up, it's like that high.
Right.
Do you have any tips on how people can save money during this time?
You know, coupons are always, I mean, they've been around for generations, right? But they still work.
It
and they're
takes
easier
work to
than
do
ever.
coupons.
No, they're in your app now. You can get them on your
okay.
computer website. I mean, again, store brands are always a good way to go. Look at alternate store chains like Aldi. Aldi is exploding, right? And a lot of their products, produce and dairy, might be cheaper than Walmart and some of the better known chains. And, you know, really mark your calendar about every 6 weeks. things go on sale at the grocery store.
Yep.
And so if you have a discount at this time, in roughly a month, you might be able to get a similar discount on a similar item.
Charisse Jones, great advice. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being with us this morning.